This is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, live streaming every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Join me on YouTube at Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, on Facebook at Dr. Jacalyn, and on Instagram at Dr. Jacalyn, as seen and heard on the USA Global TV and Radio Network worldwide. We've earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award, and I've earned the 100 Global Top Women Icons in Media. My TV shows are Iconic Women, Creating a World of Possibilities, Judgment, the Hidden Sin, A Woman's Prerogative, Sisterhood Across Borders, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and the latest updates. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. We're streaming every night live on Let's Finally Talk. Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Finally Talk with yours truly, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. And our topic today is being informed without being consumed. So if you joined us yesterday, we were actually discussing the fact that there is so much violence in the world. And I know that depending on where you live, you may have violence in your life on a regular basis. You may live in a constant state of fear. And for those of us who are lucky enough, blessed enough, and just giving grace for the fact that's not the world that we live in, typically, there is a lot of violence. And so everywhere we look in terms of the news and social media, we're hearing about this over and over and over again. And I know that in many ways, it can be very consuming and very detrimental. So today's episode addresses how many people quietly struggle with what we call information overload that comes with emotional exhaustion. And while we want to be responsible citizens, we want to be aware of what's going on in the world, and of course, we want to be compassionate, but we have constant exposure to distressing news, violence, and global crisis. So what do we do? Because many of us are feeling anxious, we're feeling numb, we're feeling overwhelmed, and sometimes we even feel guilty. When you lose someone and you think to yourself, why am I still here and they're not? What's so special about me that I still get to be here and someone that I really care about isn't? So we're going to be talking about these things today. And so if you haven't done so yet, I would love to have you go over to our YouTube channels. I'm going to put them up so you can see them, and you can subscribe to both USA Global TV and Radio and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. We have some special content on either of those, and we do have a members only option to join and hear and see first releases before anyone else. So let's go back to the topic. And I want to emphasize that what I'll be talking about and the focus of everything I'm doing on this show is all centered around something I've created called elevated listening. I've actually trademarked it. And if you're not familiar with it, we will talk about it in a minute. But what I'd like you to ask yourself before you speak, before you respond, and before you post on social media, before you call someone to share the horrific news that you just saw on mainstream television, I want you to remember this. This is the golden rule. The golden rule consists of 3 questions. And I didn't invent these questions, but I use these questions a lot in my coaching as well as elevated listening. So just remember the golden rule, these 3 things. Is it kind? Is it necessary? And is it true? Now, we've talked about this before, but I'm going to get into it a little bit. The third one, is it true? I think this is the most challenging one because I think we are able as humans to say, okay, is it kind? Not really. Is it necessary? Did I have to say it? Not so much. But is it true? And people can get so steadfast. It is true. It's absolutely true. But what happens is they're only providing part of the story. It's just like I saw a few things today on social media about the news clips, and we see more of the mainstream networks are also doing AI clips and putting them onto social media. And so some of the things that I saw today, I thought, I don't know that that's actually true. I think that they want us to think it's true, but it actually did some due diligence and found out that it wasn't. So, are you actually taking the time to fact check what it is that you're reading? So, you might think that you see something, and because you feel that way anyway, let's say when it comes to politics, you belong to a certain party. So, anytime there's something about the other party, you automatically are, oh, yeah, that's them doing it again. Did you actually fact check to see if it's true? Because many times it's not, it's just fabricated. It's just people using AI or people coming from a place of hatred or lower energy, and they're just putting these things out there. So we don't want to go down that path. So you'll remember the golden rule and the three questions. Now, let's go back to our topic. So, the key discussion points that we have today, tonight, wherever it is that you are, is the emotional impact of constant exposure to news and violence. Now, I know many of you like to have the television on all the time. I know many people who they cannot be alone. They have to have the TV on or they have to have the music on. Something has to be on because to be alone with their own thoughts is very terrifying. And I have no judgment. I'm just bringing thoughts and experience to this platform. So when you have the television on and it's running all the time, I'm not saying 24/7, but it's running quite frequently, and you have it set to the news station. And I know people who do this. They are either on Fox News or they're on CNN or they're on Sky News or wherever it is you are in the world, whatever your places that you get your news, and they're consumed with it. And then they're talking to their family about it or their loved ones or their neighbors, and then they bring it into work or they bring it into church or to synagogue or wherever it is, and they perpetuate the conversation. This is not the healthiest thing that you can do for yourself because once you put it back out there, it's still alive. So you may think to yourself, well, when there's a war or there's death or there's famine or there's a pandemic, no, it doesn't go away in our memories. But that doesn't mean that it's healthy for us to think about it every single moment of the day. We need to take time to heal. We need to take time to go within, to get in touch with who we are and process what's happened. And we can't do that if it's constantly in our face. So imagine you had two options. The first option is that you could walk into a lion's den, if you will, and there are ferocious lions there, and you know that they have the capacity to kill you. Or you could go into a very quiet sanctuary and you could be surrounded by plants or you could be surrounded by nature. Which one of those two environments do you think is going to be the best for your mental health? So think about when you are exposed to negativity, if you're constantly buying into it. I give the example of building a fire. If you're building the fire by perpetuating it, by adding oxygen to it, by continuing to discuss it, it's not going to mitigate at all. And so I'm not saying that we forget about what happened. I'm not saying we forget about people we've lost or terrible, tragic things in the world. I am not saying that. I'm not saying we ignore it. I'm saying we take time away to heal. And instead of continuing to put oxygen on the fire and continue talking about it, let's take some time to heal. And so we can still become informed without being consumed by acknowledging the fact that the weight of the information is overwhelming. And so, as it is so overwhelming, we don't have to witness it again and again and again and again. We have to protect our emotional well being without becoming indifferent or disconnected. And you might say that's easier said than done, but it's a practice. It's a practice like anything else. I saw several places on social media in the last 2 weeks or so 5 ways to know if someone's emotionally intelligent. And by the way, I don't know if this is true or not because people just create things and put it out there. But two of the things that I saw were people who are interested in finding peace. They've decided I want to get away from the drama. I'm stepping back from all the negativity. And I can say, as someone myself who's decided to do that, I live a very peaceful life. Some people would say, oh, it's not that exciting. It's whatever it is you might think, it doesn't matter. To me, I feel like it's great. I am not involved with drama. I've definitely had drama in my life, but I don't seek drama. I don't seek it out. I seek peace. And so, therefore, I spend a lot of time alone. And I saw this also on social media that people who have high emotional intelligence, and again, who knows if it's true or not, but they seek to be alone. When we're constantly bombarded with information, if you've got the television on all the time and you are constantly, maybe you're listening to music that's loud and lots of drums and bass, it really does go into your system, and your system needs a time to rest. That's why sleep is so important. From everything that I've read, there's certain people, and I forget what they're called. They're not called superheroes, but they're super something or others. They only need 5 hours of sleep. But apparently, this is a very small amount of the population. Most of us need sleep so that our body can heal itself and it can regenerate. And it's the same thing when it comes to negativity and information that makes us feel sad and that weighs us down. Just the fact of the events themselves happening are heartbreaking enough, but to have to be exposed to it over and over again, and even one further step, being the one who's doing the exposure. So if you think about it, are you using the outlets that you have to communicate for positive, for love, or to stir fear and disharmony? And I see this a lot. I even see it with people I know. I don't say anything to them, but I see people posting very negative things. And I think to myself, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to give someone else my power. And that's basically what we do. When you start to get on the bandwagon and you start to comment on the negativity, then you're becoming part of the negativity. So think about that. Okay, why is being informed the same? I'm sorry, why is being informed not the same as being emotionally flooded? So, if you think about an outline, and I'm just coming up with this, I think about an outline, and you've got the top level, and then you've got subtitles, and you've got A and B and C. And so, if you are getting the information at a high level, maybe even the next level down, that's really different than going all the way down to the very bottom of whatever the subject is. And so once you decide to set a boundary for yourself that I'm not going to watch mainstream news, if that's what you choose, or I'm going to limit the amount of time that I actually watch the news. Or if you're like me, I don't watch the news at all. I actually will read the news on my phone. And so I limit how much exposure I actually have to that. So I'm being informed, but I'm not being emotionally flooded. I'm not giving my power away and spending the rest of the day crying or lying in bed. And that's so easy to do. But if you think about it, if you allow yourself to be pulled into the negativity, you won't be able to accomplish anything. And so, are you really being fair and true to yourself? I'm not talking about losing compassion or not showing empathy. No, not at all. I am completely in support of that. I'm a peace ambassador. I want each and every one of us to find peace in our hearts where we truly mean, I am happy for you. I want you to do well. Instead of coming from a place of negativity and fear, of the jealousy and the hatred and the greed that just perpetuates our society and our social media channels. I want you to think about, what if you wanted the best for everyone? What if you gave people grace? What if the people who wronged you actually did you a favor because you were supposed to learn a lesson? I know that's a hard one to consider. And that's another topic for another day. Today, we're just talking about what it means to be informed instead of consumed. So there's a difference between awareness and absorption. And what do I mean by that? We can be very aware of current events. That doesn't mean that we have to be an expert on them. That doesn't mean that we have to hold court and start talking about it. So, if you're not a politician, for example, do you have to hold court about politics? Do you want to spend your time there? I don't think so. Let's spend our time talking about how we can help people. How can we feed the homeless? How can we help children who are impoverished? Let's talk about things that really matter. That's what I think. So you can be informed, but you don't have to be drawn into it to a level where it makes you physically and mentally sick. There is a big difference, and it's called setting boundaries. And that's what we talk about in elevated listening. Why is it that stepping back is okay? And it doesn't mean that you don't care. It's like being in a relationship that's dysfunctional. The longer you stay in the relationship, the more it's going to affect you in a negative way. And it's the same thing with the bad news. The more you surround yourself with it, the more it's going to impact your self esteem and your confidence, and even sometimes the will to live. I know people have said to me, this world is such a horrible place. I don't want to be here anymore. There are horrible things happening, but it's a gift to be able to be here. Because think of all the people who are not here who would trade places with you. So again, it comes from setting a boundary that you are informed, you're knowledgeable, you're aware, you are sad, you're sorry, you're compassionate. And at the same time, you have to pull back. You have to pull back because you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of others, so that you can be that mentor, that confidant, that coach, that family member that's always there and wants to hear and wants to help. So protect your power, protect your energy. Choosing intentional consumption instead of constant consumption. And I talked about this a little bit earlier. It's about setting a boundary. And so for me, my boundary is, as I mentioned, I don't watch news. I will read about it. So I will read headlines. I will read some of the story and then I will stop, because sometimes I feel myself becoming so upset in the events that have happened just in the last week. It really is draining and upsetting. So I know for me, I have to say, that's all I can take right now. And then later in the day, maybe that evening, certainly not before I'm going to bed, maybe I'll pick it back up again and see if there's any new information. But to be constantly reading, talking about it, posting about it, personally for me, it's too much. So elevated listening helps us create this discernment and this balance. And so it's again about setting boundaries. What boundaries are you setting for yourself? What are you doing so that you can protect your peace? And I shared this also. I read somewhere that someone made a statement. I thought it was really profound, and I don't remember who it was. But if you were to walk into a hospital, typically, even if you have a lot of money and you're in a private room, you have your own private care team, there might be no amount of money that is going to cure whatever you have. If you did something wrong in your life and you ended up in prison, typically there's no amount of money that's going to get you out of there. And the last one is the cemetery. Obviously, there's no amount of money that's going to get you out of there. So when you think about what the priorities are in life, protecting your power and your self-esteem and your confidence is truly priceless. I encourage you to become informed about the difference between being aware of what's going on and being consumed with what's going on. And what role are you playing in terms of perpetuating the conversation in a negative way. When we read about horrific things that happen, what is the best thing that we can do? Pray, give thanks that it wasn't worse, find out ways that we can donate, that we can support the people who are left behind. Maybe reach out to someone you know in your life who's going through a hard time and be there for them because you actually have control over that. But most of the things that we read about or that we see on mainstream television or on any of these social media platforms, they're not something that we can do anything about. But how we show up as a result of what we're seeing or what we're reading, we absolutely have control over that. So if you see a post that is filled with hatred and it's filled with threats and it's filled with, oh, so and so should die, and you decide to comment on it, whether it's positive or negative, you become part of the equation of where we're falling short as humans. That's my opinion. So you can choose not to engage. And by doing this, you will be protecting your peace. You can say prayers, you can say affirmations, you can certainly keep people in your heart. You can certainly, as I mentioned, donate. You could start up a fund. You could fundraise for people who have been through a hard time. Or you could even do something to help someone else in your immediate circle. Maybe that's the person you pass by every day who's homeless, or the person on the corner, or it's the holidays. Maybe there's something you can do. I just read a story about a delivery driver, and I don't know if this is even true because I didn't bother to take the time to fact check it. But what I will say is that you can do something for someone else to help change their life. Instead of putting your energy into something negative to perpetuate a story because you are angry, do something else with that anger. Give yourself a boundary. I will feel out of control, angry, sad, whatever the case is, for X amount of time. And then after that, I will look for a solution. How can I be of value? How can I be of assistance? Who can I help? How can I do it? When can I start? These are all game changers that we as humans can make a difference. So if you are sitting somewhere feeling like the end of the world is coming, that everything is wrong, how can you make things better? That doesn't mean that you decide to take the law into your own hands. Absolutely not. As a peace ambassador, I advise you very strongly. I ask you to consider what peaceful ways can you contribute to humanity. I'll leave you with that. And again, the golden rule. Is it kind? Is it necessary? And is it true? And if not, please consider thinking before you speak, thinking before you react, thinking before you post, and thinking before you comment. I want to thank you very much for being here. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. And in the meantime, I want to leave you with my new single that I recorded with my dear friend, Dr. Madeline Chan, whose stage name is Maddie Loveday. And if you like the song, it's called Please Listen to What I Say. You can go and download it over on Apple iTunes, on Spotify, on Amazon Music. I think it's only 99 cents. I'm not sure. Check it out. Fact check it. All right, let's take a look. And thank you again for being here.
The moon is a spotlight. The sun's on the stage. The world's got some good seats, but nobody stays. They get their opinions. I've got mine too. So, darling, please listen to what I say. Listen, babe, now, listen, babe, now. Listen, babe, now, listen, babe, now. Listen, babe, now, listen, babe, now.
Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In a world quick to judge, one book dares to reveal the hidden cost of silence. Discover Holy but Harmful: The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives, by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. The Amazon #1 bestseller that's transforming the way we understand ourselves and the way we see others. Pick up the companion workbook to uncover your own hidden judgments and learn how to break free from them. Available now on Amazon and at fine bookstores worldwide.
Every woman carries a story of strength, of purpose, of light. Through her courage, the world is transformed. Through her grace, generations are inspired. This is Iconic Women. Within Every Woman Lives a Goddess, a celebration of brilliance, beauty, and empowerment. Join us every Wednesday at 11 a.m. New York, 4 p.m. London time. Only here on USA, Global TVR, and radio. Featuring the iconic Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, honoring voices that shine across the world. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, USA Global TV and Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, to watch and engage with all our content. World-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang. Creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.
This is Let's Finally Talk, a heart-to-heart with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Live streaming every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm your host, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Join me on YouTube at Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, on Facebook at Dr. Jacalyn, and on Instagram at Dr. Jacalyn, as seen and heard on the USA Global TV and Radio Network worldwide. We've earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award, and I've earned the 100 Global Top Women Icons in Media. My TV shows are Iconic Women, Creating a World of Possibilities, Judgment, the Hidden Sin, A Woman's Prerogative, Sisterhood Across Borders, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and the latest updates. Thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow. We're streaming every night live on Let's Finally Talk.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.